spinal engine and rotation. And when you improve rotation, you improve everything. If you're interested in this type of training, please follow along, shoot me a comment, and subscribe to the channel. So I got pull-ups, then I got snatches and push-ups, and a bit of beep test at the end, or just a bit of running. It wasn't actually the test. So pull-ups, snatches, push-ups, and a bit of running. So I did a bit of kind of movement work in between the pull-ups. This is called the bullwhip right here. Now, this is a wonderful movement at helping to restore rotational ability. If you can't rotate very well and coordinate your arm and your torso and your spine, that's usually an indication that things aren't operating as well as they should. I see it in class all the time. Individuals that have poor posture and have had deteriorating movement quality have an inability to rotate adequately. And it takes some time to get the time and coordination to get there. But the good thing is you can do some things about it. And Rome wasn't built in a day, and you start somewhere and you work with what you got and you move forward, right? So saying that, I see that dysfunction, but that's what these movements can do. If you practice them, and they require skill, and that's, I see frustration in people when they don't get something, and I understand, I do. It's frustrating when you can't get it, but a lot of those things that require work and skill involved have really good rewards. And the MACE and rotational strength training tools kind of falls in that category of, it can be like annoying and a bit frustrating, but when you get it, you're like, this was worth it. It's absolutely amazing learning how to use these tools because I feel so much better. Okay, I've really damaged my body with my shoulders. I've really buggered them up. So this is what first attracted me to these tools, because they're really good for your shoulders. But what I didn't fully understand at the time, and now I really am understanding this after using them for years and starting to use them even more frequently, is the effect that they have on your spine and your hips, because you're asymmetrically loading up the anterior oblique subsystems, your, like, all the kinetic subsystems that your body has, and those fascial networks that are loading and unloading. Okay, so you don't want to think about it in terms of muscles. You want to think of it in terms of kinetic chains and these specific subsystems that the body is kind of divided into. And I can show you some examples of those on the screen. Spiral line, like there's anatomy chains and then there's the kinetic chains. They're a bit different. Now, when you're going to anatomy trains, you got the front arm line, the back arm line, deep front line, deep back line, lateral line, and then the spiral lines. Now, those are connective tissue that was, I've just switched into snatches. So that is connective tissue, the connective tissue lines. So that was an individual who has taken apart bodies and dissected and looked at the fascial connection, so the physical connection of connective tissue that works in a kinetic sequencing. So it's not just muscles, right? You're talking about fascial networks that are moving your body, and yeah, it's really neat stuff. So looking at snatches are absolutely wonderful. I'm doing a single arm snatch. I like doing single arm stuff because it is better at helping to balance out your body, and that's what I really want to do, is to balance out my body as much as possible so you're not overworking one side. With the snatches, you can see it's different than a swing. This is a 28 kilogram kettlebell. So I'm doing 4 per side here, and I am doing every minute on the minute style for 10 minutes. I'm pairing it with 10 push-ups. This is going to get pretty spicy. Last week I did 3 on each side. This was like a solid like 8 out of 10 on the old RPE scale, rate of perceived exertion. Okay, again, you can see as I go down, I'm going into that rotation. Okay, and it's nice. So it's rotation on repeat. Okay, a lot of rotating happening. This was and I really like that 10 minutes, every minute on the minute of the snatches paired with the push-ups. It's quite nice. So this was a simple training session today that was really highly effective. Okay, showing you a lot of different angles here. Again, thinking about kinetic chains and fascial networks and loading those fascial networks up evenly from side to side, and just stop thinking about like loading up muscles and think about rotational aspects and how you're loading up the spinal engine and the anterior and posterior oblique slings that that are responsible for rotation in your torso. This is going to definitely be spicy next week. I also did change my days up a little bit, just for mixing the conditioning. This day was I think day 3 last week, but I made it day 2. Anyway, getting here, those push-ups, keeping the quality of them. So I ended up with 80 snatches. So that would be 40 per arm. Okay, I got some big goals. I want to do 300 snatches with the 24 kilogram kettlebell in 10 minutes. That would be incredible. It's always been a goal of mine. Now I need to start training and get the training to reflect what I want to happen, right? So got to put the money where the mouth is. Got some big goals. Big goals. Goals are important. I like having goals. Realistic is important. I realistically think I can train to get 300 with the 24. I realistically think I can get a 72 kilogram kettlebell up with the Turkish get up with one bell. I did it with 2. I did it with a stacked 60 and a 12 once. But yeah, and then there's that beast tamer. I got a few goals that I want to hit, but they compete with each other. So strength and conditioning goals, can be counterintuitive. So the training can be interesting, getting those all to work together. But so basically, my goals for this training are to be an absolute weapon. I want to be able to run for a sustained amount of time, like 10 kilometers at a really good clip, like 50 minutes or under, maybe 45. That would be pushing it, but 50 minutes would be nice. Turkish get up, 72 kilograms. The beast tamer. And here we got the beep test. Anyway, I was just sharing some of my goals. Those have been goals for quite a while. Now I need to really dial in and get things done. But the beep test here, I'm just doing this at the end. Now, this was pretty challenging right after the snatches and push-ups. Again, I'm focusing, running is rotation on repeat, right? So running is constantly, it's the most important, and locomotion and walking and gait is the most fundamental human movement. And a lot of people, like, again, thinking about like ranges of motion, like, and squats, like it's healthy to do a deep squat, right? And challenge the different ranges of motion in the squat. A little bit heavier, maybe not so much range of motion, right? Same thing with the sprinting and run and walking. Like, you want to challenge those things into each different level that they are. So walking, you can go for a walk. You can go for a walk up a hill. You can go for a walk with a weight on your back. You can go for a walk with weight on your back up a hill, right? You get where I'm going with all that? And then you can start running and doing all this stuff. And it's important that you challenge those things, because you don't want to lose that ability. And that's what this is all about for me. I'll be turning 39 in May, and I'm really just wanting to go into my 40s as good as I was going into my 30s, but I want to be able to maintain that. Um, I just want to have a high level of fitness and capability. Now, my goals are, you can scale down. Like, I'm going for pretty big goals, but someone else's goal is just to be able to lunge up and be able to um, take their groceries in very easily without having someone to help them, and other goals such as that, and just being able to maintain your independence getting older. And those are all great goals. It doesn't have to be all this crazy top of the line goals that I have, right? But all of the stuff and all the training that I'm doing is absolutely scalable for everybody and every goal. Okay, the principles are there. You want to be strong, you want to be capable, you want to be able to do things for a sustained amount of time, and you want to feel good, okay, while doing that. And that's what's important for me, and that's what I believe that a lot of people are looking for. Okay, they want to be able to move well, they want to be able to be strong and continue to do the activities that they enjoy doing in their life. Like, I enjoy playing soccer, I enjoy hiking, I enjoy staying active and doing these things, right? Whatever it is for you, okay, just know that maces and clubs and focusing on rotational movement is going to help to improve your spinal engine and rotation. And when you improve rotation, you improve everything. If you're interested in this type of training, please follow along, shoot me a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, take care. Have a good one.